Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tier 1 in Austria for Round 4, the final race before the break week. I am Kia, I am joined by Bash, and as you can see, the cars are already out on track. We have an exciting night for you. It is the triumphant return of W. Gore, as well as Bag P. Two fairly heavy hitters that were missing from the first three races of the season. Bash, can you tell me what you're expecting tonight? Yeah, and we're gonna follow along with him as he comes through turn one, clipping only a bit of the inside right curb there. Obviously, the curbs in this game very dangerous, coming through the little kink that is turn two, up into turn three now, braking fairly late, and he gets good rotation in third gear, and he's very, very early on the throttle, which is what the higher gear, gear three, allows you to do. The game recommends you do it in gear two, but as always, you want to be a gear higher than you expect at any given corner, just so you don't spin yourself out. The cars are so twitchy and torquey in this game because of the loss of rear downforce from the regulations, as we're coming through now turn 5 down into turn 6, as he's just putting himself right on the curbs, riding as far as he can without invalidating. There's already a car on the wall that we just passed. That's Terry DNF'd from the session, but that will not stop Gore from setting a perfect time here, coming through at a lightning pace. He's going to be the second one to set a time here? No. Yeah, he will be with a 1:03.5, which is over 2.5 seconds clear of Throttle, the person who set the time in front. And Astro coming in with only a 1:04.1. Chipsy with a 1:03.7. So we're going to try to find somebody else trying to finish their lap. Stewie coming across the line here with a 1:04.6. Which is, it's a fairly diverse set of times at the outset of the qualifying session, wouldn't you say? Well, it does look like Sir Harry's probably going to be going for another one. He has done a cooldown lap here, and he's on the medium. So if he can set a very good time on this, he can potentially set himself up for a really good position. This is a one-stop, mediums to softs or softs to mediums, obviously. So hmm? Well, no, that was a cooldown lap. He's on a hot lap right now. He's just started his hot lap, and it's difficult as I mean, it's certainly a challenge because the tier is so close in terms of pace that it really is going to take a spectacular lap for him to not only set a top 10 time, but to be able to retain that. I don't know whether he's actually shooting for that or whether he's just trying to set a couple of times on the mediums so that he isn't forced, or, forced in air quotes, to take his third set of softs so he can carry a brand new set into the race. Because obviously we are now playing with reduced safety cars. However, that will not stop Cody's, I guess. That is good enough for good enough for P9 with 4 cars failing to set a time at this juncture. So we'll have to see. I do not believe that'll last very long. And do we have any cars coming on their hot laps? I think SoCal's about to finish one. It certainly does look like it as Tack ducks into the pits. And it's a 104.3. Not, I mean, it's not the best time. That certainly doesn't jump Harry's, but that is, SoCal's certainly going to want to send it for another. Ginger taking a little stroll across the gravel here in turn 6. Not exactly sure what happened to him. So I think we're about to see the wall of the second hot laps starting to come in. Bagpete is on his own and starting in Sector 1. He's a 10th down on his time. It's very good.
Stewie 3K setting a decent time. The action on an outlap currently in that Alfa Romeo.
Apologies, I seem to be having some intermittent Discord issues.
So they're ongoing then?
I mean, every so often I just I cut out and can't hear you.
All right, well, I'll try to hold the fort as much as possible. I guess I'll try to do play-by-play. Astro's back out there. Currently in Sector 2, trying to set a decent time. Bagpete taking provisional pole right now with a 102.705, flexing that Merc. But let's see what some American muscle coupled with a Ferrari engine can do as Astro brings it down the last corner, abusing those curbs a little more, coming in with a 103. I'm sorry,
I feel like
784.
Welcome
to the club.
We absolutely just jumped over a monster lap from Bagpete. He sets a 102.7, almost an entire second clear of W. Gore. This is a fairly strong comeback from him for his first race back of the season. Him and Terry are both incredibly fast in time trial, but when it comes to race pace, they are quite a bit closer to the rest of the pack. And now, I guess we'll have to see how this plays out. This is Bagpete's first time racing F1 2021 with us, so we will have to see.
The action gets on the board just ahead of his teammate, 103.831. The Alphas are currently in the fourth row, should nothing change. Actually, that's pretty funny. The Alpha, it's all Alphas on the fourth row, all Haas's on the third row, and all Astons on the second row.
And speaking of Astons on the second row, Chipsy, I believe, is about to finish a hot lap here, coming through the final sector. Turn 9, done well. Turn 10, no invalidation. Doesn't go too wide. This is going to be a 103.4, putting him up into P2, beating W. Gore.
9-0. So Gore is going to have to try to improve on that. Let's see, who else can we look at? Rogue still hasn't left the pits. I wonder what's up. Is he dealing with a penalty, or does he have connection issues? I'm unfortunately out of the loop. But right now, I want to follow Tact in the Alpine, who has just started a lap of his own. Tact being another one of the stronger Tier 1 drivers over the past couple seasons. However, it
unfortunately
says
validated.
Yeah, I just noticed the red mini-map. Who else can we follow then? Ginger Bear and the McLaren?
Just goes wide on his and into the wall.
Oh, yeah, he just, bad luck from my camera at this point. Lord Raptor finishing a lap.
Sir Harry's back out on softs and looks like he's going for one. Gets a bit of a tow from his teammate down the straight from Ginger, who was just in the wall. Don't know whether that was coordinated. Coming through now, this will be turn 5 into turn 6, I believe. And he's not using the entire extent of the track, not going all the way to the right there on the exit of turn 6, or the exit of turn 5. But that's kind of to be expected. You do want to go faster, but you also want to, give yourself a bit of margin of error for these brutal track limits. We're expecting high penalty counts today as he sets a 103.7, good enough for P5.
Well done to the McLaren of Sir Harry Hotspur. Now let's see who else we can follow. Van is going to try to set something on the mediums as well. We'll have to see how that goes.
He's up on his time by 0.2. That's very pretty good through sector 1. I don't know whether that's good enough to put him into the. It's not good enough for the moment to put him into the top 10. Although he does just drop 3.5 tenths off of his sector 2 time, and this is how you do the mediums. By the way, you don't go out when the track is not prepared, when it's not rubbered in, when it hasn't had any track evolution. You have to do
strong finish
later in the lap, later in the session, and he gets just at the he's on
11th.
the brink. He's on the brink of P10, but does not get it. He is 11th.
He's still charging through though. He's gonna try again, and I mean, if he starts 11th and he gets a really good start, things could go well for him. Who else can we follow? It looks like SoCal Blazer is about to hit the 3rd sector, so we can see if he improves on his time at all. Also, Rogue has finally gotten out of the pits on an outlap. Tact is apparently on an outlap as well. And there's 4 minutes left in the session, so I don't know if they're cutting it.
I don't think that anyone's trying the medium strategy wholeheartedly, simply because it's going to rain in the race.
Oh.
It's
45.
45 minutes in, you could definitely make the mediums last until then. But yeah, it's going to be storm weather at some point in the race. It's looking like an 85% chance of rain at least 45 minutes in, or at most 45 minutes in.
He's coming back in the pits. He's probably going to slap on some softs. Tact going to try to put that Alpine back to work like Esteban Ocon did back in Hungary. What a brilliant race that was. But whatever the case, just gotten through Sector 1. Looks like he's on decent pace so far.
Ooh.
But
sorry, we're following along with Astro?
I'm following Tact.
Tact, okay, because Astro just validated.
And, yeah.
Ooh, Tact having a bit of trouble with cars in the way, and then he just has a little moment. He corrects some oversteer there, and he
but he
goes
just
wide.
invalidated his lap. Oh man, he just needs to finish a lap.
It would not have mattered anyway, because that was a trash lap. From the moment that he corrected that oversteer over the curb, that was not going to be a representative time, and he was going to come in anyway.
Back in the pits. All right, Rogue is about to finish a lap himself, though. Let's see if he's still got any of the old magic, now driving for Red Bull after some crazy seasons with McLaren and Ferrari.
For anyone
activating
who's...
the DRS. And 104.247. But anything can happen with him. I mean, of course he's going to try again. He wants to get a good qualifying time. But Rogue has had some races where he's not done well in quali, but just goes on to absolutely destroy the rest of the pack in the race.
The problem is he can't do that anymore with the pack so tight on pace. He can't just cleanly slice his way through. Sure, if Terry and Tack starting at the bottom is going to create a situation where they could probably cut their way up into 11, 12, and 13th each. Maybe, a bit higher if there's some DNF, some issues there. But at the end of the day, he does not have the pace to recover from all the way at the back of the grid to a respectable finishing position.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, competition definitely is tighter for sure. So if Rogue has to do a recovery race, it's going to take him a lot of effort, as you mentioned. Rogue coming back in for the pits now with 1 minute and 35 seconds just over left on the clock. He, Tact, and the rest of the gang are going to need to make some quick changes if they want to try to make a maximum time. Tact actually has just come out of the pits recently. He's on an out lap.
Yeah,
Ginger Bear has just started a hot lap.
We're going to follow along with Chipsy, who's a bit in front.
Okay.
Coming into turn 3. Oh, he's 300ths down on his time, unfortunately. So that's not looking the brightest for Sector 1, but Sector 1 is a fairly short sector, so the time to recover is certainly in Sector 2 and 3, and with track evolution, it certainly should be possible at this juncture, as Chipsy, fair entry and an exit through turn 4 into turn 5. That's Astro retiring from the session in the pit lane. Chipsy with a 2/10 down again, and a accident
slides a little bit
waiting to happen there. So that is not going to be a good time from Chipsy. We're going to follow along with Ginger, see how he's doing. Looks to be a fair bit of improvement on his time, 9 seconds down, but his old time, his banker, was a 1:14, which is over 10 seconds from the nearest car. Coming across the line, it will be a 1:04.2, which is a good enough for P15.
All right, good stuff, Ginger. Anyways, Tact is currently in the second sector, abusing those track limits. Just has to make sure he can keep this one valid.
We're going to be following along with Lord Raptor before as he comes. Oh, and he invalidates, so we will skip over to Tact. Oh, he's a bit cagey on the throttle coming through turn 7. Now into turn 8. Or sorry, into turn 9.
Clean, though. He might finish this. I ain't trying to commentator's curse none. I think he could do this. Oh, that's beautiful. That's absolutely fantastic.
Clean, but I'm not sure how quick it was. Up to P4.
It's 4th. It's good enough for 4th. 103.556. Excellent work, Tact. Right at the last minute as well. Rogue is going to have to settle for 15th, unfortunately.
Rose is coming across the line on mediums, not improving, but he is P10 on mediums. He could theoretically make that last till the rain. That is a very effective, very good strategy we've seen many times before, actually. Stewie narrowly avoiding an invalidation as he's coming along. Will he be able to upset Rose's dream of starting in the top 10 on mediums? I think that will be the first time we've actually seen that this season in Tier 1. Stewie coming across the line. It's going to be a 103... No, 104. It's not fast enough to improve. He is only P11.
But no, I'm excited to see what Rosefest does with the mediums to potentially wet tire strategy all the way through.
And that is the end of the qualifying session.
He's about to execute Bonato's master plan, and I am here for it as a card-carrying member of the Tifosi. Anyways, here is your standings. On the front row, we got Bag P representing Mercedes, and Chipsy in the Aston Martin. He's saying he's got no time to die because he got some quick laps in. Somebody called James Bond. Gore in the action, second row, followed by Tact, Flex, Harry Hotspur, OA, Astro, Rosefest, Stewie, SoCal Blazer, Lord Raptor, Van, Rogue, Ginger Bear, Throttle, and then Terry, who failed to set a time. I'm excited. Austria is always exciting. So you predicted that there might be a lot of touching this race?
I wouldn't call it touching. I think I'd say contact. But yeah, I do think coming through with fast guys at the back, as Rogue and Terry are pretty fast boys, and some of the we'll call them Tier 1's cannon fodder in the middle. I think it certainly might present some interesting challenges in attempting to, navigate some of the slower drivers in a way that doesn't lose you as much time as possible, and then collisions, and yeah, I don't see how this could possibly end well. And plus, we do have a wet segment 30 minutes into the race. It is going to start raining. 45 minutes into the race, it's going to start thundering. So I think it's going to be an interesting race as we have the formation lap starting now. It is going to be a soft to medium. fairly easy soft to medium, honestly. The softs can make it, call it 15 laps, and then mediums the rest of the way. I do think, yeah. And let us see what everyone has fit for their tires. Yeah, everyone below the top 10 has fitted the mediums. Usually in the old days, I would have called that a pretty poor decision, simply because we can expect, especially on a tight circuit like this.
Wait, why is Rosefest on softs? Didn't he qualify in the mediums? Or did I miss something?
No, sorry. His medium time was like 300ths slower than his soft time, so he didn't actually end up qualifying onto them, but he was very close. So yeah, everyone below, from P11 below, is going to be starting on the mediums. That's something we haven't seen in a long time, generally, either because the track doesn't play to the strat, or also we finally have moved our safety car status to reduced, aiming to drop the average of safety cars from, and this is not a joke, 3.2 safety cars a race. We're hoping to get it to 1. But yeah, we had a ridiculous amount of safety cars in the past, which would prompt drivers to take the softs, because if there's going to be a safety car early in the race, at lap 5, then you switch on to another set of softs or another set of mediums or whatever, and you make that strat work. You can't plan to not pit under a safety car.
Well, ideally, the number of safety cars would be 0, but we'll just have to see how things go coming into the first corner. Looks like the cars are getting onto the grid now, and we're getting set to race. I always thought it was cool just how the cars in-game just slide into the grid. Bagpy was in there real quick. He was just like, nah, these tires will warm enough. Let's just get down to business.
Well, if you think about it, the entire grid right now is a Mercedes sandwich.
Yeah. Anyways, the lights are up. The lights are out. And away we go here in Spielberg. Already there's a position change. The action has overtaken. Somehow he's in second. Oh my god, position changes are everywhere, but so far there's no contact. Some cars have gone off, though. Bagby just letting it fly.
That is... I gotta say, this is a VSC.
Oh, wait. Oh, Gore is just...
I have to say, we caught that. I'm gonna bring that up on replay. That is... And I hope Gore listens to this. That was the most shameful display of a turn 1 I have ever seen. How... I fail to understand how you can accomplish such a feat. And before I continue this rant past the VFC, I'd just like to make it clear that Gore hit himself into a wall and then DNF'd on turn 1. What was he gonna say? Oh yeah, his line to me if he DNF'd was, "I've never finished in the top 10 in Austria and I do not intend to start now." Lap 1 virtual safety car. At least it's not a safety car. I hope we get going soon enough. It looks like there isn't significant damage throughout the grid, but we can only hope. Oh no, Stewie has some fairly significant damage, as well as Harry.
Gotta give him props. Man's predicted his own death.
Well, no, I predicted the death. He just thought he wasn't going to finish in top 5.
Yeah, nah, but Rogue has somehow managed to make it to 7th, so it looks like there's still some energy left in him.
Oh, and that's 2 drive-thrus for Rosefest and Terry!
Speeding under VSC. Did they pit?
Why is the lobby being restarted?
This isn't according to plan after all.
The lobby is being restarted. The lobby is being restarted. That is why everything is bad.
Yeah, nah. The lobby is being restarted. Van is
Hello and welcome back to only a mildly technical difficulties race. What is happening here with these race decisions? A lot of people have decided to start on mediums. Not sure what the legality of that is. We'll have to check. And yeah, anyway, we have to restart twice. We're back. The weather is, and I swear to God, it is so similar. It's brilliant. I love myself.
Why are tact and flex Oh my goodness.
So the game put a bunch of us on mediums, even though we picked softs.
Oh, for fuck's
Codemasters!
sake. And that means
Codemasters!
we're past.
What are you?
We're past the deadline to start the race. We're gonna have to postpone.
We're gonna have to postpone. Like, so what happens at this point?
The
Are we
schedule
s-
gets pushed back a week.
It factually be like that. To the viewers, we are sincerely sorry. We tried to do what we could. I mean, I guess it's funny because something similar happened to IRL today. But yeah, nobody wanted this.
All right. Well, I guess that's the end of that. Thank you for joining us.
Hopefully next week things go as planned.
Yeah. Well, this has been absolutely shambolic. So, good night.